Poverty Reduction Council, United Way, Delta Child Manitoba. It is a tremendous pleasure and honor to be here to celebrate the Foundation's commitment to a partnership with you around the introduction of the Boldness Project, as we call it, around this question of early child development innovation in the province of Manitoba. And although we're focused on one community, as has been said a number of times today, this is important for the province, it's important for Canada, and indeed it's part of Canada's contribution to the world if we can get this right. I have to say that from a philanthropic perspective that this is really what we're here to do, is to take risks, to work with leadership and community, and to enable the exploration of bold possibility, to be taking that step that appears before us, and we've heard today over and over again, it appears just on the horizon, or on the threshold of transformational change in society. Manitoba is, as the Commissioner said, the epicenter of a conversation about the place of Aboriginal people in this country. We are in the period of reconciliation. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission has another year or so to go, but the work is really for all of us now to build a society in which our children have an equal opportunity for a safe and productive future. So that work, which really does take a long time to achieve, is at the level of a cultural shift. And before I came to work at the Foundation, I spent a couple of years working with Raffi, a children's singer, whose vision of a child-centered society, a child-honoring society, helped me to understand what was possible here. I was living in Vancouver at the time, and I was volunteering for an organization called First Call, founded by some early childhood activists and with guidance from Clyde Hertzman. And our purpose was to speak to the business community and to government about First Call, about the first call on resources, the prioritization of resources put into early child development. That's where we have to make the investment if we want a successful society. And I know now that's part of the discussion here. That's the direction that is being proposed, and we're so excited to be part of that conversation with you, with the business community, with community activists, and with the community of Point Douglas, Aboriginal leaders. We have an opportunity now to actually frame a different narrative for this country, something that we're called upon through the reconciliation process. It's now our opportunity to do. It's not going to be easy or quick. This is something that will take a generation to achieve. It will involve failure. It involves taking risks and learning from what isn't working and feeding that back. It takes patience. It takes the ability to stick with it, to commit for the long term, to put in place the patient reflection and the experimentation, the ability to work in different ways, to work through difference, to look at the system as a whole, and to start creating out of what is now an isolated or a single field called early child development, as we heard today, a continuum of a scaffolding of support, from the support for the prenatal, for mothers who are pregnant with children, right through middle school and high school and beyond. And around that system, there's work for justice, for health, for housing. All of those systems have a role to play and will be invited to the process that we're proposing here through this effort to design a more robust, inclusive, sustainable, and equitable society. You have a Museum of Human Rights opening here shortly, and I've spent the past couple of days here working with a group of funders and Aboriginal creative people, elders, young people from across Canada, looking at the possibility of creating something called Reconciliation Rehearsed, a play that will capture the stories of this country and present them back to ourselves as an opportunity to reflect on what kind of partnership society we want to create here. In other parts of our work around reconciliation, we're funding Cindy Blackstock, whose purpose is to indigenize child welfare services, to make them culturally sensitive and relevant. We're also working on a national conversation with former prime ministers, former national chiefs, Inuit leaders, Métis leaders, about a sustained conversation about what's possible in this country at this time. And so we've been to Manitoba before. You helped us launch the Art Smarts program and turn it into a national initiative. This is a province that, as the Premier said, has a social vision at its core, has a sense of possibility. So we are really here because you have that capacity. We're here at the service of the great leadership and the great citizens of this province.